wait, I haven't been on the screen yet. I've got to get the YouTube screen up.
Yeah, sign into, jump into YouTube.
I'll probably just open up a new page next to it.
Yeah.
No.
Let me know when we go live. Are we live? Hello, DIBBO. You ready to get YouTube open? There we go. Click on that one.
But I won't be comment.
Put the volume down.
Oh, wait, I haven't been on the screen yet. I've got to get the YouTube screen up.
Took us. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Kettle NRL podcast where we stream our NRL footy chat live. Sorry, there's a couple of minutes there where we were just finalising everything. But, you know, we've already got 4 people, which is awesome. Thank you guys for joining us.
You also stream your pre-production live.
Yeah, we stream everything. There's nothing hidden here on the Kettle NRL podcast. DIBBO, welcome.
Welcome. It's great to be back as usual. Great weekend of footy. It was good to have a near full lineup of footy on the weekend. Yeah, it just feels good. Now we're in the business end of the season. It actually feels like the business end of the season, the run home, where we separate the pretenders from the contenders.
Oh, mate, it's so great to finally get Origin over and done with, and what a series, what a state of Origin series, absolutely incredible. But it's good that Origin's over now. We get into the sort of business end of the season. As you said, some of the superstars are starting to come back. Last week, so in this previous round, Cleary came back. Turbo sort of back in action. This week, Munster comes back for the Storm. Reynolds is back for the Broncos. It's starting to really get very, very exciting. But we've got a lot to talk about. So I just want to give a big shout out to Greg Haywood. Hey, Bulldogs fan from the UK since the 80s. Good to see the Dogs doing well. Good to see you on the podcast. Lovely to have you. Big Massive was here from the beginning. Jamie Teasdale never misses one. Channel E, afternoon. Thanks for joining us. And we are excited. So, DIBBO, what around 20? I want to get straight into it. I want to talk about that loss that the Bulldogs suffered to the hands of the Cowboys. Now, I have a lot of thoughts about that game.
Yep, let's hear them.
And I think they're going to be quite positive considering it was a loss. And I want you to tell me as an outsider,
I'd be livid.
As a non-Doggies supporter, what you think, right?
I'd be livid. Anyway, so I'll let you
Anyway,
finish.
let me and guys, I want you guys to tell me what you think. Be really honest with me in the comments. Let me know in the chat whether I'm off the mark or not. For a good portion of that game, the Doggies were well in control and did not look like losing. Right? Now, why am I not upset that we lost that game? I just want to put it in the outset. I need to say this as a Doggies fan. On the outset, I need to make this very clear, and I really want to hear what you guys have to say in the comments, right? If you told me in February of 2024 that not only will the Bulldogs be sort of entrenched in the top 8, but potentially gunning for a top 4 position with the second best defense in the competition, and we're losing by 2 points away in North Queensland to the Cowboys, right, who are desperate, with Sutton as the ref, who made many blunders, I would have slapped you and told you you're dreaming. The Bulldogs, if we lose every game from here, which we won't, well, I hope we don't anyway, we've already exceeded expectation. I think we've got to put that back to reality of this team. We've had a lot of ins and outs, a lot of injuries. We're currently missing Max King. We're missing Josh Adokar. Patolo only played for 5 minutes. We're missing Jamin Salmon. We are doing so well for a team that has a forward pack that wouldn't make probably most NRL teams. Now, I think that's a positive. And we only lost by 2 points. It's not like we went up to North Queensland and got smacked. But it does burn because we were in control for so long. I think that's the part that hurts the most, is the Bulldogs were in control for, I think, 70 minutes of that game. We came up with some poor decisions. There's a lot to talk about. What are your thoughts on my positivity?
I'll be livid. I'll tell you why. Because in the previous weeks, you guys were able to ice those games and not play your best footy. I thought this was your best performance better than those 2 wins. I think it was a better performance then. You guys should have won by at least a couple of tries. The large swathes of the ball, like he's had territory in possession, and you know, and you should have punished him more. Like it's good to see that he scored those 3 tries from kicks, but I feel like you guys should have scored another 2 or 3 tries up there from open play. Cowboys were nothing special. You guys definitely outplayed them. To come away with not the win there, that's a big letdown. Like, honestly, I'd be livid. Like, you know, you have lost a few games at the start of the year where you guys should have won. You don't want to be going back to that, especially in the business end of the season. You don't want to throw this away. You're in a lot better position than the other 6 or 7 clubs vying for a top 8 spot. You'd be one of those 2 or 3 favourites to get one of the last remaining 4 spots. So let's just say the top 4 are sealed, signed, and delivered. Yeah, you don't want to be going there where you lose games that you should win, especially in the business end and going into the finals. I'd be livid. Like, honestly, if I was Serraldo now, I would be shitty.
Look, fair point. A part of me was really upset about that loss for a couple of days. I was a bit annoyed at the loss.
Cowboys were honestly ordinary, and it's not because they played poorly. It's because your stifling defense really, really, really made them just not click. Like, and he's let them get away with a win. I would not be happy at all.
Look, I take those points, but I would counter with this. The Cowboys were desperate. Yeah. Up in North Queensland. Hang on. The Cowboys were desperate up in North Queensland. There were some poor decisions made. Don't forget, we won 2 very, very tough games prior to that, and we were coming off the bye.
Yeah, but hang on a sec.
Right? So, like, I get what you're saying. But Greg, Greg Hayward's saying, I would rather be in the top 8 with some unlucky losses than be in the top 8 based on lucky wins, which is a very, very good
So Hayward,
good point.
Hayward, I get your point, but do you want to keep losing those games that you should be winning and then slide out of the top 8? Because you're now actually equal with 9th. If you get my point, we're on the business end of the season. You know, I know I'm from an outsider point of view here, but honestly, you just want to make a dent. They're not games you guys should be letting slip. You should have won that game by 14 points, I thought, plus. There's nothing positive to take out of there besides your defense. I thought your defense was great. The last try I thought that he's letting was uncharacteristic from the Canterbury I've seen this year. But you have to be punishing the teams that play like that. You were the better side. And I would not be happy I lost by 2 points there. And look, I know Berto should have kicked those easy kicks, but I'm not going to sit there and point his kicks. I felt like he's 2 or 3 tries better than them, and he definitely should have made them pay. Defense is great. Got to go to training. Got to do something happen with that attack. You're kicking, the way they scored those tries from the kick, brilliant. Like, he's literally gave the opposition no chance. And I felt like he should have had another try there. It was 50-50 whether they want to award that or not. I was happy for that try to be awarded. You know, I don't know, are they playing too direct? I know we spoke about this off air. I'll let you go on what your thoughts are on that. What are your thoughts on why they're not scoring more tries in open play? Is it because it's their stifling defense? They can't afford to spread it out? Like, Elmo's happy to discuss that. But, you know, I'm just saying from my point of view, like, you know, I don't want to sit there and get happiness. No time to be happy anymore that we lost when we should have won. We're running out of rounds.
It's not about everything you said is spot on, and it's a reality. Those games we need to win. I'm with you.
We're running out of rounds.
I'm with you. I'm 100% with you. But to be honest,
we're not entrenched in the top 8.
But we need to be really realistic about the team that we have.
I think they're doing a fantastic job, but I just want to really. I reckon Cam was livid.
Look,
I reckon he was.
We won 2 games off the back of our absolute grit and determination. That Warriors game, if we want to criticize every little bit, they should have got that penalty after Jamin Salmon hit Chanel Harris Tavita. Hang on. Yeah. They got the penalty, and we could have lost that game, right? The game goes in ebbs and flows, right? The game goes in ebbs and flows. We should have won. We shouldn't have been that close. I'm with you. I'm not disagreeing
Can I point out something? I don't know if you want to agree with me, lads, and the same goes to you, Elmo. But I felt like you guys played better than in those 2 games that you actually won. Honest opinion.
We played better against the Cowboys.
Goal.
I'm with you.
And that's why I'd be absolutely livid because we played better and we lost by 2. Like, I would be livid because you guys should have honestly put 5 or 6 tries on them up there. Your attack, you know, it's just, I don't know. I've been saying it for the whole year. It's the end product. I don't know why.
Okay, so
somebody give us some pointers.
I agree with you. I agree with you that we played much better against the Cowboys than we did against the Sharks or the Warriors. I was so happy with the way Burton and Sexton were controlling the game. Burton's running game was excellent. Sexton's kicking game, fantastic. And I think Sexton's finally leaning into his attack.
You know, I just want to,
Go.
Brian, you make a good point, but it feels to me you do have the killer instinct, but you aren't scoring those extra tries. Honestly, the Dogs seem to dominate with their defense. They stifle the teams. And their territory they have, it feels like the Dogs spend more time in the opposition half than more than the opposition spends in their half.
Yeah, we do.
And it feels like you do have the killer instinct, but are they playing too direct to not score more tries out wide? I feel like they're going to have more set plays. I know Phil will come out and maybe Cam say, look, from where we were last year to this year, and it's a work in progress, will be a lot. I agree. But I don't want to see you guys slide out of the top 8, especially that you have got to the position where you are. And you deserve a top 8 spot. I'm just saying, if it was my team, I'd be feeling the same way. And I've seen the progress that Canterbury's had. Last year, injuries. Year before that, same thing. Drama after drama. Not getting ref calls and all that. Like, there was some bitter fans on the weekend, non-Canterbury fans, saying that Canterbury was getting the calls and that. Like, you know what? Even if they were getting the calls, about fair dinkum time, they got some calls going in their favour. Although they didn't get that try, I thought that should have been a try from the kick.
Which try? The Hayward try?
Yeah. Did you think that was a try? I thought it could have went either way.
Okay, so here's where I
had no qualms if they got given a try.
So I think that was a try. I think that has been given all year.
Yeah.
He didn't lose control of the ball. He did have downward pressure, but I can understand if it wasn't given a try. I'm not going to sit there and say it was a robbery or anything like that. There were a lot of Doggies fans that said, it wasn't a try, and that's fair enough. Look, fair enough. I'm going to move on. I'm not going to sit there and cry about the refereeing. One thing that needs to be taken into account this year is that you're not, you can go into a game and get absolutely demolished by the referees, or you can go into a game and get absolutely given a leg up. So one way or another, you can't rely on the referees. Whatever poor decisions were made by refs, we move on. But where I think we're improving is we never used to score tries of kicks. We scored 3 tries of kicks. I think that was fantastic. All we need to do is we need to be able to start getting on. We need to start putting on more plays. Sorry, just one sec. Billy, can you? Sorry, just ask the producer so we can hear that. What we need to do is we need to keep putting more plays on, and I feel like we've put that away a little bit in the last few weeks. We're going too much up the middle, and we're just relying on our defense, and our attack sort of taking a step back. If you look at the games we did win by big margins, we were spreading the ball well, and one of those missed opportunities was when Preston knocked the ball on. We went wide. Tracy put the ball out, and Preston knocked it on. I feel like after Tracy got concussed and against the Roosters, and we haven't really gotten back into our attacking mojo since that Roosters game, but we've won ugly. I think that against the Cowboys, sure, we didn't get the win, but I thought we're starting to attack in different ways than what we have in the beginning few rounds. Sure, it was a loss, and sure, it was very, very upsetting that we could have absolutely won. But that also speaks to how close we are to sort of putting it all together. And I don't think we're far away from getting the final touches, getting the final pieces of the puzzle together. We've had, we've got players playing with niggles, like we've got Kikau playing with broken fingers. Crichton had an injury, so there's a lot of things there that I could be very critical of the team, but I think the team's playing well. Even though we lost. And that's, as I say, you've got, in the context of a Doggies fan, we had 2 really close wins against Sharks and 1 close loss against the Cowboys. I'm not completely upset with that, considering, Patolo played 5 minutes. Poor bloke can't catch a break. He's lost, he only played for 5 minutes again, copped a knee injury and went off.
And they got gifted a try as well.
Kiraz was gifted, dropped the ball, and they got gifted a try. Had they not got that try, we win comfortably. So really, they were only able to score two tries on us.
Well, I think your defense is doing its job. It's
right.
An attack. I want to see 5 or 6 tries.
Look, I'm with you. But again, I go back and say that in the context of the game, while it was disappointing to lose, I'm not I'm not. I'm not too disappointed, and I want to make a point about Burden.
Yeah, go on.
I want to make a point about Burden. He's missed kicks, and I agree that something needs to be done. Something needs to be done about his goal kicking, but I can't blame Burden. The bloke has played out of his skin every single week. His running game against the Cowboys was fantastic, and I think, if he can continue to play this way and build into the finals, I don't think we're going to miss the finals. There won't be many teams that will be able to outplay us. I think we're a shoo-in to beat the Broncos. Everyone's going to disagree with me and think, oh, that's crap, but I don't think we're going to lose 2 on the trot. I think we're going to go up there, and when we've got good teams, we play well up in Brisbane. We really do.
No, it was evident yesterday. I mean, he's got a Brisbane team that is more desperate than you guys, I feel. I feel like you guys should be. If you guys had won that game, would you be equal with 4th? There's still 2 points behind.
We'd be equal 4th.
See, there you go. It's just, what are they now, 6th?
Yeah, now we're 6th with Manly being 1 point ahead of us. But here's the thing, right?
There you go. There's a team that hasn't been better than you guys the whole year, somehow sitting a point ahead of you.
Look,
that's how frustrated I'd be.
I'm with you. And look, again, you look at it and you say it's frustrating, but I think the other thing that you need to take into account, you just can't discount that it was a game that, number one, didn't play very, very well, right? So, again, there are still things that we need to work on as a team. We've had heaps of injuries, heaps of changes, right? We missed Max King out there. I think we missed Max King a lot.
You did. Look, I know, Abdul, last few years have been tough, and I like how Brian's put it. If you read Brian's comment, you'd be happy, based on your position this year compared to last year, you'd be happy. But now that you guys are sitting, you've been in the top 8 for a while now, actually. Your expectations surely have changed. I wouldn't be happy with sliding out of the 8 and staying out of the 8. No.
I'm not. I would never.
I want blood.
It'll be
I want top 8. That's how yours should be feeling.
We do, and I would be very disappointed.
Inject that in my veins.
Yeah, I would be very disappointed if we don't make the 8. But I'm not about to throw out the bathwater at the moment. As soon as we lose
still
one
7
very
rounds.
close game,
You're right.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying that let's have this discussion at the end of the season. But to say that all is lost right now, because again,
no, I'm not saying
the
all
point
is
I'm making
lost.
is we had
just
good attack,
livid.
we had great defense, right? We made two uncharacteristic mistakes that cost us the game. The Reed Miney missed tackle and the Kiraz drop ball. If they're the things that I think let us down. And
look,
again,
if he's beat the Broncos this week, always forgiven.
Yeah, I look, and we're going to go up there. I think we're going to go
That's what
up
it was. He's got 2 tough games. I thought if he can snag 1 out of the 2, and I'm not saying he won't snag the second. I think I think it's down the middle. It's pretty even. I know they're desperate, but if you guys maintain that stifling defence, I'm just interested to see how a Brisbane Broncos forward pack is going to go against that defence, that stifling defence, even that back line. But if you guys had, and deservedly should have won that first game, you wouldn't have desperate to win the game this week. But it might be a blessing in disguise, meaning they can't rest on their laurels. It's a must-win game. Even though I still feel like even if they weren't to get the win, I'm pretty sure they'll still be in the top 8, but you don't want to start you want to be on the upper half.
You want to be on the front foot. You want to always be on the front foot.
You don't want to be sliding towards the bottom.
You don't want to be leaving it up to others to get you in the top 8.
Don't you want a home game for the finals?
I mean, look, we do. You want to be 5th or 6th.
You don't want to just be happy to be there. You want to be going for the kill.
Yeah. Look, about the Broncos, B Massive saying it's going to be hard to beat the Gronks, this and that. I don't actually think the Broncos are back. I think the Broncos are better, but they're not back.
I think the Broncos...
They barely beat a really, really shit Knights side.
No, I think with the Broncos, I was interested to see, but I think they've left their run late. And if they do scrape in the top 8, I think their players are going to be stretched, fatigued. Like those players backed up right after Origin. They had to work their butts off in that first half to get that. It was a big lead, but I feel like the Knights might start running out of troops towards the Broncos might run out of troops towards the back end of the season. I think they've really stretched themselves, but we'll see what happens.
I don't think they're going to run out of troops. I just don't think that they are the same team they were last year. Again, they beat a Knights side.
They've left their run late.
look, they've beat a night side that's playing really, really poor. Ponga didn't really have too much of an impact on that game. Best was gone after 10 minutes. Like, it's not like they blew the Knights off the park, right? They played well.
You guys play the Knights again?
No, we don't.
Already?
We've already played them twice, beat them
right.
twice. So
Just hoping another win.
I understand that the Broncos game is going to be tough, right? But I don't feel like we're going up there and we have to fear the Broncos in any way. I didn't fear the Cowboys.
Not at all.
I don't
Not at
fear
all.
the Broncos, and I think we're going to surprise a lot of people.
Well, not at all. I just think you guys should stay on the front foot.
Absolutely,
Challenge for a top 4 spot.
absolutely.
Shouldn't just be happy to be there, and you just need that killer edge to you need to convert those chances.
I think we're still as a team, we're still very young. I'm not making excuses. I'm not making excuses at all.
I reckon you guys have been a thorn in the side of every single side you guys have played this year, from top to bottom. Penrith scraped byes barely. Melbourne scraped byes, shouldn't have got the win. You guys have beaten the Roosters. You've beat the Sharks. Who else is on top of yous?
That's a good. Just the
Well, if anything, I don't think you guys. You've either beaten that side. You've been in all the sides this year, or they've barely got byes.
Yeah,
so these have been an absolute thorn in the side for every single NRL side.
100%. That's why I think again we have the makings of a great team. I'm very, very excited for the Broncos game. I think it'll be a great test for us. And look, to be honest, here's one thing that I think is such a blessing in disguise is Curran. Curran is an absolute freak. Like he came over as a utility second rower. He's playing prop, right? He gets thrown as prop. He played for 78 plus minutes, ran for over 200 meters and made 35 tackles with only one missed. I'm not worried. I think that if anything, Hughes needs to pick his moments a little bit more. Has to be a little bit more.
He's gone quiet the last 6 weeks. I feel.
He gives away too many
having a stellar
penalties.
season.
He gives away too many penalties. Not playing enough minutes.
Yeah, I don't like this. Not enough minutes. I like to see him get about 50.
Yeah, I think he'll be better at 50.
Affecting him.
So look, I'm not worried about our props. I'm not worried about our chances at all. I think as long as Burden and Sexton can continue to combine, I think our attack will continue to improve. Seraldo has said that attack is what we're working on at the moment. We did make uncharacteristic errors, and I think if we can fix those errors and improve slightly, bro, we're gonna be we're really gonna be up there in the top 4 discussion because I think that it's it bodes well for us. It bodes well. That's why I'm not too disappointed about that loss. It was we were bound to happen. We're not going to win all of them. I think as fans, as Doggies fans, we sort of forget that we're not going to win every single game. We're not going to be undefeated. Sure, we could have won that game. We should have won that game, but we're going to verse the Cowboys again. We are going to verse the Cowboys again, and we're going to verse them at Accor Stadium, and that's going to be a big game. Then we're going to verse Manly, or it's going to be Manly, and then
that'll be nice. I like to see Manly get spanked. I think they're overachieving for what I've seen from them this year.
Look, Turbo
them and
played
a few
well.
other sides actually,
And
not
look,
only ones.
Brian has made a point. He says, I think our lack of 1 or 2 big forwards is starting to affect our backs. They're starting to get tired, which affects our attack. I absolutely agree that that's what's happening. There's no doubt that's happening.
I think but I'll tell you what, Brian, every player that's been called upon to come for first grade this year has not let you down. Like, look, Chris Patala has been injured, but he's worked his way back up. I think you guys got a good squad. Like, they've been called upon. Jarrell Skelton, what's he played this year? 1 or 2 games?
Yeah.
He's had some
Both
big
games have been
moments.
fantastic.
Yeah, he had some big moments. Everyone that's been called upon has not disappointed. Your troops are ready to go. Like, they got the right culture going.
And look, we had a debutant against the Cowboys, or Harry Hayes, who I thought, as Jamie Teasdale has mentioned, he wasn't bad for his first game. He wasn't a superstar, but he wasn't bad by any stretch. And I think he'll only get better. We saw how Lipboy's first game, he was okay and continues to get better. So I think, again, I'm very positive about how the Bulldogs are going. Look, we did lose to the Cowboys. That was always going to be a tough game against a very, very desperate Cowboys team who is starting to hit their straps. So, they were a lot more desperate than we were. We were fighting for top 4. They were fighting to stay in the top 8. That's where I think we need to keep into context.
They should have been blown off the park. Sorry, but yeah, their desperation.
Nah.
You guys still had them. You guys still had them underneath You know, you had your leg over their head. You guys should have taken that easy.
I just want to quickly mention, if you're new to the channel, please be sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel. You know, it gives us a lot of help. If you guys like us, helps push us up in the algorithm. If you subscribe, you'll never miss our videos. You'll never miss what we do. So please be sure to like this video and subscribe. Now, you know, I want to talk a little bit about the refereeing, because I thought the refereeing was absolutely pathetic. I think the refereeing is poor, but I don't think it's just poor against the Dogs, and I don't want to fall into this idea or this trap of thinking, you know, this ref hates the Bulldogs or that ref hates the Bulldogs.
I'll pinpoint what it is. It's Queensland sides at home. Just get the cause. I don't care if you think I'm biased, but the stats will back up what I say, whether it's state of origin or club footy. If you compare the Queensland sides coming down here, they get a much better favourable penalty count than New South Wales teams going up into Queensland. It is ridiculous, and it needs to stop.
I think it's a little bit different, to be honest. I actually think that one of the problems the rugby league is facing at the moment is a little bit of an existential crisis with the 6 again. I think the 6 again rule,
it's not consistent,
has made the game too fast for our players, considering how many injuries we've had.
Is that what they want?
And then it's too fast for the referees. Now, you may say, oh, but we've got the bunker. I honestly believe that we've made the game so quick that it's almost becoming impossible to keep up with, both from a player and a referee perspective.
Yeah, I'll tell you what I find it like. It's not about the quickness. I feel like it's kind of like a throwback to the old rule, when the unlimited tackle rule or rugby union rolling. It's you're getting longer periods of possession.
That's right.
That's what it is. And the teams have tried to adjust to how to defend on their line. You know, that's what it is. It's brought longer periods of possession. That's what it was. So it's interesting to see where it's going. Like rugby league once upon a time had an unlimited tackle rule.
Yeah.
You know, like now you're seeing teams get 30, 40 tackles in a row. It's just continuous pelting and pelting. And if you see in rugby union, the rucks and the mauls, that could go on for about 30 or 40 phases, you know, rolling, sometimes 20, 15, like it's become like that. But obviously rugby league's a better product. Like, you know, it's more dynamic. It's more exciting to watch. It's not a ball, you know, where everyone's just laid over the ball and where the hell's the ball? No. You got bodies hitting each other, high impact. It's something we might need to, you know, we're still getting to terms to get used to. Whether he's like it or not, don't know. Like at the moment, I'm still on one side of the fence. Like I kind of like want to put my legs over the fence and kind of like be for it, but it's taking time.
I just don't. I don't know if the game can continue in this vein. I think that it's gonna with. Players are getting a lot more injured, a lot more, and it's the type of injuries that are continuing to happen is based on the speed and energy that's required. Like you look at how many hamstring injuries that we're having, how many sort of ankle injuries, ACLs, and things like that. So I think, you know, it's something that, again, it's like when politicians make laws where they've never actually had to be in a position to feel the impacts of those laws on their lives. It's the same thing with rugby league, right?
Is that like every rich person now is a politician, that they don't know how the working class people, pretty much.
Honestly, I think that's what it is.
I mean, a lot of people that make the rules for rugby league have never played the game at any level. And when I mean level, like not even weekend footy growing up, it's just ridiculous.
You know, like they brought in the 6 again during COVID when the game was already sort of suffering from, existential crises, and they haven't really figured out how to solve the problem. Like the 6 agains are being used too liberally, and it's easier to give a 6 again than it is to blow a penalty. Give a penalty. I would rather you blow a penalty than give me a 6 again.
Is it brought in to bring fatigue into the game, to try to lessen the power behind collisions and stop the HIAs? Is it having that effect? We won't know for a while.
Look, the HIA thing is different, right? The HIA is different, but it's more about...
Is it stopping players to set themselves up to, you know? I think it's just trying to... Because you know how the players have now become more athletic, bigger, faster. Like, is it just trying to nullify them because, you know, is it just nullifying them getting back on tight and set themselves up? Because I reckon defence would have taken over the game. That's what it's got into. They have to quicken up the speed up field to let the attack flow more.
But there's nothing wrong with a game that focuses on defense. I don't think it's a problem. And the thing
not really, mate.
But the 6 again hasn't.
Do you remember 2010?
Okay, look, hang on a second. let me just
remember what the defense did that year?
B Massive is making a great point about the officiating, penalty, 6 again, penalty, sin bin. I 100% agree with you. Sutton is a joke. He's done this to the Bulldogs every single time. Like if it was any other team, I guarantee you he calls the Haywood a try. Like the Haywood try a try. He calls it a try. That catch from Drinkwater that was knocked on, he calls it back when it clearly hit a Bulldogs player. It's look, I'm 100% agreeing with you. Sutton is a joke. Sutton is not a good ref. Sutton is really
feels like B Massive gave him a double drop kick and then he came off the rope with a flying elbow. Now,
bro, Sutton is a joke. Sutton should never be allowed to referee a Bulldogs game. It's clear.
What's your winning rate with him? 6%?
Yeah, 16% or something like that. It's absolutely a joke, and it's a joke. But I want to be clear. I don't want to make this about Sutton because. You know what? He's not worth the time. We know the go about Sutton. We know the go that he absolutely despises the Bulldogs. Can't ref to save his life. Doesn't know the rules. Well, at least not when he's refereeing the Bulldogs. But it's like, what can you do? It's, I'm sure the club knows these problems, has communicated with the NRL about them. Has raised these issues with the NRL. And Serraldo said in the press conference he's going to raise some questions. But I just think the officiating is poor, needs to be improved, but I don't know how that happens in this season anyway. But again, we only lost by 2 points. We still managed to be in every single game. We never get blown off the park. The Cowboys were desperate. We should have been more desperate. We made some poor decisions. Like, we went for that too. Look, in the heat of battle, I didn't think it was a bad decision. But looking back on it, in hindsight, we probably shouldn't have gone for the two.
I don't think it's a bad decision that he went for the two. I just feel like should have scored more tries.
Look, I
Your
agree with
defense
you.
was great again.
Yeah.
Just that last try was uncharacteristic, and obviously Kiraz gifted him a try, which is very uncharacteristic from himself. Just want to point out about the whole 6 again thing. What was the worst year of footy you saw, and tell me why?
I would say, I mean, we've had this discussion.
Yeah.
I want to quickly,
tell me
Jamie
why.
mentioned that disruptor. 100%. How that wasn't a disruptor on Blake Wilson was unbelievable.
Is that the escorting?
No, so it was when Wilson jumped for the ball and knocked it on, but Nene was in his way when he was catching the ball.
Yeah. I know what you mean. Yeah.
I mean, they've been giving them penalties the whole season. All of a sudden, what's his name? Sutton's blind. So, and then, not to forget, Curran copped a shoulder to the head, copped a high hit in their half, right? It could have been a penalty, could have been blown a penalty, but it's like, I can't really blow up at the, khalas, it is what it is. Like, you just can't.
Bit of passion helps. Good.
Yeah, look, it's
good.
I just think that we're better than that, and that we're going to come back firing against the Broncos.
Yep.
I don't think we're going to lose 2 in a row, and I honestly, genuinely think that our defense is going to choke the life out of the Broncos.
That's what you want.
They've got props that are going to run hard, whatever, but I just don't think that they've got. I don't think
probably
they've
got 2 props or 2 or 3 forwards, but the rest I think is well contained.
Yeah, I just don't think they have the killer edge. Even with Adam Reynolds, I think that we can account for Adam Reynolds quite easily. Not to take away from how good they are.
Is the Canterbury side staying up there, or they've come back down here
No,
for rehab?
they've come back down for rehab, and they're flying back up. I think the day before for captain's run. So I'm calling it. And look, the team named for the Broncos is,
pretty much what we expected.
Yeah, it's not a bad
Corey
team.
Oates named.
So I'll tell you the team.
This could be good news.
So it's 1 to 7, 1 to 13 actually.
Yep, let's see this.
As last game.
So Corey Oates is playing.
No, I'm talking for the Dogs. 1 to 13. Right. As it was against the Cowboys. The bench is Baylor Haywood, Lipoi Hopoi, Curtis Moran, and Harry Hayes.
Yep.
Very light bench, but very mobile bench. I think we can run around some of those bigger
it wants
Broncos
to maintain
props.
the line speed. Yep.
But the reserves, interestingly, are Pawasa Farmasuli, Liam Knight, Hayes Perham, Gerard Skelton, and Drew Hutchison. I would argue that either Pawasa Farmasuli or Liam Knight will come onto the bench to replace either Hopoi or Hayes, so that we can have a little bit more size. Right. So the Oates is not named, so it's Walsh, Cobbo, Staggs, Mariner, Arthurs, Mam, Reynolds. In the front line, it's Corey Jensen, Walters, Haas, Kobe Hetherington, Jordan Ricky, Patrick Carrigan. Their bench is Blake Moser, Tyson Smoothie, Xavier Willison, and Martin Tapa'u.
Oh, great news. So they got like about 2 hookers on the bench, plus father's son starting. Great news. And did you say Corey Oates on the 5?
No, Corey Oates is not playing. He's on the bench. He's on the reserves.
Damn.
So
anyways.
So I think
Looks like they got,
Excuse me.
Moses is a good young gun.
He's a gun. He's an absolute gun.
I just think like they've named 2 hookers on the bench.
Yeah, and
That's weird.
I think if we
Plus father's son. I don't know how he's starting, but
who's
anyway,
father's son?
Walters.
Oh yeah, look, he can tear teams apart if we're not careful. But I do think that we have enough firepower to absolutely get on top of them.
I don't think he's going to do anything against you guys, especially with your team's line speed.
Yeah.
He ain't going to do anything.
We just need to shut down. Look,
Prove me right, boys.
we shut down Reece Walsh. We're good as long as Bronson Cherry can not get palmed off by Katoni Staggs.
Why would he? He's a strong boy.
He's a very strong boy, and I thought he had a good game against the Cowboys, except for that one knock on.
I'll put Crichton on him then.
Crichton's up against Dean Mariner.
I'll swap him around.
So
Mariner's fast and
very fast.
Sherry's fast.
Yeah,
So
very
I
fast.
think Crichton will be better off suited against Katoni Staggs.
So there's so much that I think we can do, and again, I think that we're gonna be in for a very, very, very good performance by the Bulldogs against the Broncos, and I don't think that's me being cocky. I think that's me being that's me just being confident in my team. What are your thoughts on how the Dogs will go against the Broncos?
I think it's going to be a tough one. If the Dogs' defence holds, we'll see something similar that we saw on Sunday night. I mean, I would have. It's annoying. If the Dogs definitely had won that Sunday night game, as I thought they should have, then I'd be more confident tipping them. But losing a game like that, I don't think Brisbane's Knights are horrible. Like, you hit the spot there. It's going to be another close game because one's desperate and the other one plays well, but they just, I don't know, are their points going to pile on or not? Like, when you think they should score 4 or 5 tries at the minimum, you know, it's. I'm not worried about their defense. It's, are they going to pile on the points?
Look, I think if we
Is that O'Cara a chance? No, he's not even named.
no, he's not. Not
And
even.
it helped if you
reserves.
had Max King there.
Yeah,
I know he's been one of your best.
He'll be back in 4
But
weeks.
the boys did well without him against the Cowboys. Played better as well.
And look, I think Curran did so well at prop that I think when Max King comes back, our starting props could potentially be Max King and Josh Curran. What do you guys think? Do you guys think that Curran's playing good enough to have both pushed Sam Hughes back to the bench? Because I actually think that's a better starting forward pack, and then have Hughes come on when the team's tired, have a bit of size on the bench. Everyone's saying, I think we lose to the Broncos. Everybody's tipping the Broncos, which is sort of exactly where the Bulldogs like to be, the underdog, flying under the radar, sort of that siege mentality. I don't think people are giving the Bulldogs enough credit, especially against a Broncos team that is still yet to hit its straps.
I'm giving them the credit where they should have definitely beaten the Cowboys.
It's
going to be another torrid affair, I think, on what day's the game? Saturday?
Saturday, 3 p.m.
3 p.m. game.
Yeah.
Interesting. Very strange.
Yeah, up there in Suncorp. I think beautiful weather.
I think it's going to be a tight game.
Yeah, I think it'll be a tight game. I think the
From
Bulldogs.
what we've seen, as long as hopefully they rock up with their defence, because I don't expect Brisbane should score more than 3 or 4 tries.
If that, I think as long as that defence rocks up, it's not about. Is Canterbury going to score those tries? Yeah, I think we need to work on it. But again, I think if you look at us scoring three tries off kicks, is perfect. If we can get
that was good. They scored them with ease.
Yeah, if we can get a couple,
well planned.
If we get a couple of good backline plays after our forwards sort of come in there, honestly, I think that will be a big problem. And I know again it sounds cocky, but I don't think that the Broncos will match their attack. Will be able to match our defense. It's again, as you say, can we attack and score enough points? If we keep the Broncos to below 18, we win. I said that. I've said that multiple times, and I do think that if
their defense is
suspect.
Yeah, you're right. It is suspect. That's the way I put it.
Mothman's saying, I like your optimism, but I think Adam Reynolds' kicking game plus Broncos home crowd at Suncorp will be too much for us to handle. Hope I'm wrong. Look, we haven't played well away from home. I have to put my hand up and say, yes, You're right. We haven't played well away from home. But there's no better time, right, to turn those poor records around than the present. And we almost got home against the Cowboys. We almost got home against the Storm. I think that we'll do a number on the Broncos. Again, Walsh hasn't been playing the best footy. I think Crichton shuts him down quite well. and he'll do that again for us this week. So I'm saying Dogs by 12. I'm saying Dogs by 12.
I just think that if the Dogs prevail here, it's over. Season's over for Brisbane, especially if all the sides above them win, or most of them. Then they're 6 points out of the 8 with going with 6 games, 6 rounds to go after that.
Yeah,
they won't chase it down. It's elimination match really for the Dogs are still 4 points ahead of the Broncos. And if they were to cough it up, they're still 2 points ahead. It just means the Broncos stay in the equation, if anything. I know they got that luxury. Oh, it's a tough one, man. It's just they come and play good and don't win, Very, very tough one, I'm telling you now. Like,
it'll be a tough game. I just think that...
I don't know how Broncos are going to... I'll tell you what, somebody pointed out, I think it was Mothman or... I think it might have been Mothman, or was it Rob Ramsey? No, it's Rob Ramsey. 1 day game the whole year, the Broncos. The Broncos have played 1 day game the whole year.
Do you think that's a benefit for us or for them?
Because it's weird. I'll tell you what's odd in this professional era. They train mostly in the day and they play at night. It's weird, eh? Like, you think if you're going to play a lot of night games, you train at night.
Yeah.
It's weird. They train a lot. Most of their training sessions, if not all of them, are in the day, only for them to play a large chunk of their games at night. So it's weird. They're training in the day, then they're playing back in the day. Is it going to affect them? I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, they're training in the day. I just want to see how the Dogs' defense goes.
I think our defense will be fine. I don't anticipate the Broncos scoring more than 3 tries, but I do think that our attack will be better next week. I'm saying that.
I'll tell you, I'm going to tip a tight affair, but I'm not going to tip the Dogs. All right, because it's not their defense. It's why aren't they scoring?
I look, the fact that you're not tipping us means we're going to win.
I'm going to go Broncos by 8. That's how tight of an affair it is.
Yeah, I'm going to say Dogs by 12. I'm going to say that Preston score a try off a beautiful, beautiful kind of Tracy pass where he just slides through and he scores. And I think that the Bulldogs will... Look, again, I think our attack against the Cowboys was probably the best it's been in about 2 months.
Territory and possession.
Honestly...
They're just not crossing that white line.
And look, let me tell you, had Kiraz not made that mistake, we win, even with the missed tackle of...
Your defense is great.
That's
crossing that white line.
I'm telling you, the Bulldogs are being underestimated, and I love it. And that's why I'm so optimistic, because when you look at the game as a fan so deeply, you understand that what your team can and can't bring. And I think that the Burden is going to have another stellar game. He's going to split the Broncos open, and I'm thinking that Kickout is going to destroy them. Honestly, it's going to be really, really, really a really good game. Really, really good game. But I just don't think that Reynolds, he's been away for a very, very long time. I don't think Reynolds is even playing at 100%. I still think that Reynolds is trying to get back into it. He's not 100% just yet. So that's what my opinion is. Now, it is, I just want to give a quick shout out to Patolo again. He just can't catch a break.
Is he all right after that game?
He hasn't even been named in the reserves. So he's probably injured again. He's probably out for another 6 weeks.
Oh, there was no news where they went for scans.
They haven't put any news up yet. Have you guys heard any news about Patolo? Has
just one
NRL physio or anyone?
Poor bloke. One of those years just get healthy, mate. Put it behind you. You're still young, and there's all those years ahead of him. Canada's building to something bigger and better. I still think they're going to play finals footy this year.
The Broncos?
No, the Dogs.
Oh, 100%.
I know it was like, the naysayers. I mean, even if they were to lose this one, I mean, these are, I think, their 2 hardest games. The Cowboys and the Broncos. And this is why I was livid that they lost the Cowboys game, because they should have won that. And not close one. They had it easily won. And they would have given them the luxury. I know I've gone the Broncos by 8, but, I mean, it's only 8 points, and I hope the Dogs can prove me wrong. I mean, you just want me to sound like an expert. So, not that, I'm not saying I will be right, but...
Look, Zatar saying Reynolds at 60% is a better halfback than most. I agree with you. But we'll
listen. He's slowing down. His body's starting to fail him. Dog's got good line speed. I'll give something to the Dogs here. If they can rush him up in his face, look, he does do well still under pressure, but he's not going to have the freedom. So if he's not playing at 100%, you're going to absolutely nullify him. So I hope the boys can keep the rage, line speed on the weekend, and mate, you probably might even limit them to, who knows, 2 tries or less.
I'm telling you, 3 tries max. That's my prediction. They won't score more than 18 points, right? And look, we versed Melbourne in Melbourne with Hughes, with Pappenhausen. Like, it's not like we've come up.
They mustn't forget Mam. Like, as you know, the Dragons stifled Mam for a long period. He only came, because the Dragons thought they had the game won. But I think the Dogs can stifle him with ease.
I don't think Mam offers much at all. I think
as long as they don't take the foot off the pedal.
I think Mam has some speed, and that's it. I don't think Mam offers much more to the team, unfortunately.
So Dom's giving us a feel-good update on Patolo.
MCL injury, Dad will play again this season. He hasn't had a terrible run. Zatar saying he gave 100 times more shape to the Broncos attack. Look, I agree with you. No, I agree with you. But it was against a shitty Knights team. The Knights don't have the greatest defense. They've had, 30 or more points scored on them maybe 4 or 5 weeks in a row. The Knights are not the team to determine whether you're back or not. If the Broncos can blow us out of the water, then they're back. But I just don't think that...
just on the rest of your team, everyone came out all right out of that game? Because I know Crichton was down for a bit. What happened there? Was that just a burner?
I think it was just a really bad stinger.
Yeah.
But he should be fine. Should be good to go. Kick out's fine.
It's going to be a tough game, man.
It'll be a tough game. I'm not denying it's a tough game. Not denying it's going to be a tough game at all. But I do think that...
it's going to be 1 to 12.
The Bulldogs showed... I think the Bulldogs showed... so much against the Cowboys, which is why I'm sort of not too upset that we lost. Like, sure, we should have won. I'm with you. And I'm not denying.
I'll tell you
we should have won, but I'm so confident.
The Dogs, if anything, I think the Broncos are a better attacking side than the Cowboys. So the way the Dogs, if they're anything, they want to play like how they did against the Cowboys. Make it that dreadful, stifling sort of play because you really just want to limit Brisbane's attack and 100%. Just grind yourself to a win, whether it's 2 points or 4 points. I'll 100%. Take that.
Look, Zata's right. Tyson Gamble is the world's best 5'8", and it's a shame that the Knights can't utilize him. Oh, God.
They sat out Kai Pearce, whatever his name is.
Kai Pearce-Paul?
No, the centre.
Will Price.
Will Price, just for this guy to play.
Look, I think Will Price still has a lot of growth.
I would have had Will Price there over Gamble.
I think Gamble added a lot to their team. I think that the team doesn't really care too much about the coach. They know the coach is shit, and it was only Callum Ponga.
Like there's a revolt happening.
I think there will be.
I think there will be. There would have been a revolt last year if they didn't fluke those 10 wins.
If it wasn't for Callum Ponga playing out of his skin, honestly, and I don't think Callum Ponga is going to save Adam O'Brien this year.
No, they won't make the finals. There's no way.
Yeah,
Best is out for 3 weeks or something. Or is he?
Best is out 4 weeks. He did his left hammy again, the one that he did in round 11. So, be massive saying Reynolds won't finish the game. Look, I hope Reynolds doesn't get injured. I want to beat the Broncos on Broncos turf with all their players just to show everybody that the Bulldogs are the real deal. I don't think the Bulldogs are going to get blown. In fact, I am very, very confident the Bulldogs are going to win. We're not going to lose 2 in a row. You mark my words. You guys, I want you to mark my words. Come back to me. Come back to this video. Come back next week and tell me what you think, because I don't think the Bulldogs will lose 2 in a row and we won't lose to the Broncos. I think that we're playing good footy. Our attack is on song. We just need to get some small things right and we'll be good. All right. I just want to make a really quick sort of... quick comment on something that we've recently done. So I'm not sure if many of you have seen, but we actually hit 1,000 subscribers recently, and that opened some options up for us on YouTube. One of the things we've been working on is membership of the Kennel Podcast YouTube channel. Look, I know that cost of living has gone up, things have been expensive, so on and so forth. But what we're doing is we're enabling this so for the price of a coffee a month, you can support the podcast. It's like $5.99 a month, so $6 a month. And what that does is help us pay for the costs of running the potty. We don't make any money at the moment. I don't think we ever really will make money off the podcast, but it does cost us a lot of money. And so we've opened up memberships so that you can support the podcast to continue running all the content and stuff. And it's not just like a support money. It also does come with perks. So if you join and you become a member of the podcast, what essentially happens is for every one of our future interviews that we do with special guests, with players and things like that, we're going to have a live chat when we're doing the scripting and the question development so that you guys can actually add your questions. But you can only do this if you're a member. The other thing it will be enabling is special emojis and icons on the podcast if you're a member, and we'll be adding heaps as the season goes on. And again, this is just about supporting us to keep the potty going. As I say, it does cost a lot of money, it costs a lot of time and effort as well, and this will just go a very small way to help us continuing to the potty running. So thank you so much for hearing. Really appreciate you guys supporting us. We love the chats. We love every time being with you guys. So thank you very, very much for all your support. And if you can become a member, do it. If not, we still love you. We still want you around, and we still enjoy every minute that you guys watch the potty. Now, want to get quickly into Origin 3. We didn't do a review. We were going to do a review. Life and work and other things got in the way. So here it goes. DIBBO, what do you think of Game 3? Very quickly.
That was absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
Like, to do it in Queensland was special. Like, it just felt like it was all there. The way New South Wales was playing in the first half. I know we went behind and it was 2 or whatever, 2-0 at halftime and all that. But it just felt like it had to be. Every single player out there for New South Wales was absolutely sensational, or just did something. Even Jack Trbojevic, he came out. And it took me 3 games to work out what Madge wants from him, and it's just go out there, keep a cool head, keep the boys settled, just lead them out there, take them into the battle, oversee that first tough period, and I don't need you for the rest of the game. I think that's the role Madge had for him. You know, this Madge is a more brilliant mind than we give him credit for.
Yeah.
You know, like, I know he won that premiership with South about a decade ago, and then since then, you know, he hasn't, look, he tried to take on the West Tigers project. We'll call it a project. And he took him to 9th, I think, in that, and he played some expansive football, and they were unlucky to miss out on the top 8 a few times. Remember, he had Harry Grant. They played some fantastic footy there. But, wow, he manufactured one of the best series wins I've seen. And, you know, if obviously Swiley didn't get set off in that first game, I think they would have won 3-0. They were very dominant in that first half. Like, special mention to, Jerome Luai. He absolutely harassed them the whole game. Like, I know a lot of people don't like him. If I was ever a player and I would want a teammate like Luai or Cody Walker, because they're absolute grubs, or even Reid Marnie.
Yep.
For those reasons. Like, they give you confidence. They instill confidence. That Dylan Edwards, freaking sensational. Angus Crichton, good shout by me and Elmo. I'm going to give ourselves credit for that.
Hey,
but
the boys.
We both credited him. We both said we'd get player of the series, and he did. And I don't know if you guys watched that last episode, but I said we need some individual brilliance from a Crichton or a Best. And Best did deliver with those tackle busts to score that try. And you know what? Mitchell Moses, he's copped a lot of stick over the years, but that try at the end, it was a nice little icing cherry on top. That's what it felt like. Great New South Wales team. Canterbury's own Stephen Crichton. He's the best defensive centre in the game. It reminds me of Matt Cooper of St. George. Remember Cooper was an absolute powerhouse, and that Crichton, oh mate, he is a physical specimen on the field. Well, I just got a lot of things to rave about. Even that bench, that Mitch Barnett, I could just sit there and I want to watch. I've watched like swaths of the game here and there. It's just a feel good. Anyway, let's knock them up next year 3-0, and then the year after that as well. And yeah.
So I just want to make a quick shout out. Maurice Collins is our first official The Kennel channel member. Well done. Welcome, Maurice. Thank you so much for your support. This is really awesome. Thank you so much. We love it. It's the first, honestly, I'm speechless. Thank you so much. It's, as I said, this is not about, making money or anything. It's just about helping us cover the costs, and it means so much. So thank you so much, Maurice. I really, really appreciate it. And, you'll forever be the first member of the Kennel podcast. Welcome, and look out for the chat. We're going to start a chat. We do have a couple of guests coming up. If you remember, you'll be able to ask some questions and things like that. So it's very, very exciting. So thank you so much. Now, some people have asked for the link to support. Morris did, and Zatar Zahat had to become a member.
Button, isn't it? Member?
Yeah, I think. And look at that, Maurice Collins. He looks pretty now. He's got the star next to his name. We're going to be adding some specific Bulldogs emoticons. So next time, hopefully, we'll have that there. I'll just ask Billy if you can. Are you able to share the link to be how to become a member?
There's no link.
There's a green button there.
I think they
it's
should
at the top of the chat.
What you do is just on the actual YouTube video, at least on the in the browser, there's a join button. Just click on that, and that should enable you to join as a member.
Thank you so much, guys. I really, really appreciate it. And as I say, I'm going to add some heaps of emojis and some new images and some things like that you can use in the chat. And I just want to echo what Dip's saying about the game. That is the best game I have ever seen. Like, I don't think I've missed a single Origin since 2000, maybe 99. I don't know if I've missed an Origin since
I
then.
was overseas watching that. Oh, no, sorry. I watched Game 2
No, you watched
overseas.
Game 2 overseas. That is the best game I've ever seen. Like, for me, okay, let's say in recent history, or as far back as my memory can go, I don't think I've watched a single game that made me feel so enraptured, so engaged in the game like that. I've never ever, I don't remember a single game. The Blues, and I remember saying this to a couple of the boys I was watching the game. They're like, oh, you know, the Blues, they've got all the possession, but they're not scoring. And this is what I said to them. I said, this is a patience game. They're going to win it in the last 15 minutes. That's how it's won. And you said we called the Angus Crichton will get man of the series, the Wally Lewis medal. We were spot on. I don't think any other player deserved it. But I have to give a shout out. I have to give a shout out to someone. I have to give a shout out to Luai. Moses is getting all the accolades for being the number 7 that won the series. 100%. I love him. I'm so happy that he played well. Even though he's an Eels player, I think it was fantastic.
Can I point out?
But Luai
got voted fans player of the match or something because you know I thought it was going to be him or Edwards would probably get, and then Edwards got it, and you can't fault Edwards.
I think Luai deserved it.
He's just Mr. Jack in the box.
Luai is just the way he set up that try for Best was unreal. Yeah, that was crazy. But the way he set up that try for Best, even though Best had still so much to do, and I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this openly. I'm eating my words right now, right, about Best being the wrong decision. Best was incredible. It is fantastic that he was chosen. Eat my words. He was incredible. He was aggressive. He was angry. He was happy. Like, it's just everything about Best. He came in there and did a job. And that try, not many centers would have scored that try. So I'm eating my words about Best. I'm very, very happy to be eating my words about Best. He deserved to win. Well done. But
you know what's funny? Did you not get off your chair? I didn't move from my chair. I thought, no, I better not move.
I didn't go to pee. I didn't go to get any snacks. I had everything in front of me prepared. It was fantastic.
What was ringing my ear was the West Indies versus Australia. It was Alan Border was captain, and nobody went. Australia lost the game by 1 run.
Yeah,
I think McDermott hit the ball and turned his back or something. It was him and Tim May, and Alan Border wouldn't let anyone move out of the seat. Just shoot him like death stares and all that. And it was the same with us. We were sitting there, and anytime anyone got half to get up, we all just gave that person a death stare, and lucky. I mean, we were just glad we didn't move out of our chair. Very superstitious.
Oh, it was just one of those games where I've never seen the intensity be so consistent for so long. I don't remember a single game that was that intense, that angry, that good for that long. And to see Luai come out after people said last year, he shouldn't be in the team. He's this, he's that, can't play without Cleary. This guy's incredible. And the Tigers are, the Tigers are just going to kill it. The Tigers next year, they've got themselves an absolute weapon. I think.
Brian, is that true? Brian To'o asked for it.
I think it was bullshit.
Or was that fake?
I think it's
But
fake.
him and Luai make an absolutely, what a partnership. But they got Taruva there as well.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if To'o goes there?
Nah.
To'o by far and away is the best winger in the comp. He's another pocket rocket forward, but just... on turbo,
I agree.
Coming from the flanks, like, wow, what a player, what a specimen.
Absolutely incredible. And I think, the Tigers are very lucky. And Luai will do for the Tigers what Critter's done for the Dogs. Maybe not to the same extent, but he will do it. And he will be fantastic. And, credit to Luai for absorbing all the hate, being the villain and then coming out on top. And honestly, playing... like he deserves to be there. And not just that, he could have easily been man of the match for Game 3 and no one would have said a single word. They would have said absolutely deserved. I actually think in Game 3, he outkicked Moses in short kicking. Let me say short kicking.
The kicks were fantastic. Everyone that seemed to kick a ball that day, it came off. Bradman Best was kicking them. They were coming off.
That was
Stephen
the
Crichton was
oh
kicking
my
them.
God.
Well, Crichton's got those good grubbers anyway, naturally.
Jamie's just become a member. Welcome, Jamie. Thank you very much. Honestly, your support means the world to me. Like,
Am I allowed to announce that we got something in the pipeworks in that Cogra or something, or not really?
No, let's. We'll announce it to the members next week. We'll let them know what's happening. So there will be things happening that we'll announce exclusively to the members. Look, the only reason I'm saying we're going to announce it exclusive to the members is because we've got to give you guys some perks for being members. So really, really appreciate all your support. Again, like I'm not going to tear up, but it means the world to us because we love just interacting with everybody, and we just want to continue to grow the podcast. So thank you so much, guys, for interacting and sort of being live with us. Now, I think the other guy who I love and I called out in the last podcast was Mitch Barnett. Another decision by the Knights. They let Mitch Barnett go.
Jeez,
he's gone on to become,
You have a fetish for that guy.
He's fantastic. I actually think, as good as Adam Fanua-Blake is...
This time you got it right. You had the fetish at the right guy.
as good as Adam Fanua-Blake is...
what about Angry Eyes?
Oh, Lenu.
He was a nightmare to tackle in that game.
He was a nightmare the whole series.
What about Kreiner? He leveled up some of those Queensland forwards. He made Paddy Carrigan look like, I don't know, Ken from Barbie, or
he made his Roosters teammate look like he was shit.
Oh, Lindsay Collins.
Yeah, he outplayed Lindsay Collins 10 to 1.
I knew he was a fraud, and thank God
he's not a fraud. He's a good forward.
Fraud.
If the Dragons could buy Lindsay Collins, they would bend over backwards and flip upside down.
Bro, the Dragons have probably got a forward pack that's not even better than reserve grade sides.
Honestly, Lindsay Collins is a great
income. The Dragons.
Look, Lindsay Collins is a great forward. I just think that the Blues had it all over him. And isn't it good? Isn't it good to see Billy Slater shit himself? I love it. It was great to see.
Can I point out something?
With all due respect, Queensland played so well.
No. Can I point out something? I know he copped a lot of flack, but Reece Walsh was their best player because his involvement was just, he didn't stop going. I just feel like he didn't get the support from his teammate. I know he was getting smashed and bashed and ragdolled and harassed and everything, but, man, he didn't take a backward step. But where were his bloody teammates? That forward pack, most of them didn't even... where was the back line?
Look,
find them.
I think, I agree with you.
Honestly, I know he was probably rendered ineffective, but he was up there against 13 players with no support. He made that bust, and Lomax outsmarted him, but nobody went with him. They all watched him go 40, 50 metres downfield, and no one was within QE of him. Just to give you an example, he was getting bashed and crashed, and no one came to step in for him. I thought I'd just make that point on his behalf.
For a 22-year-old, the guy is an absolute freak. I have so much respect for Reece Walsh.
For me, he was their player of the match, but yeah, anyways, my 2 cents.
I thought their player of the match was Dearden. I thought Dearden was...
Look, okay, can I point out something?
Yeah.
You're right, Dearden did have a dig, but they're too small, men.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Where was the support?
That was a selected...
Harry Grant has done nothing for 18 months. Ben Hunt got concussed. I'm surprised he stayed on.
I don't know why. I honestly reckon Grant isn't playing at 100%. I don't think that I think Marnie would probably have done a better job. But you know what?
And his selections were laid bare, like Felice Kafusi and Capel, but
Kafusi played 16 minutes.
And Fafita could have done something out of nothing. He's that sort of player.
Even if he only played Fafita for 20 minutes.
And he looked deflated in that game against Manly because he missed out.
I think it sort of shows, it speaks to what Billy was saying, is that he can. But look, in Origin, everybody steps up with the whole 100%. Queenslander thing. So it's a load of shit.
Well said.
But you know what? The worst, and I called this, and no one wanted to listen to me. Everyone's like, DCE. DCE has not only lost it, but DCE is a piece of shit. Right?
It's personal between
DCE is a piece of shit. He's advocating for Cam Murray to get suspended for longer. He's advocating for...
Really?
Yeah, he was advocating for Cam Murray to be...
What about that flog Corey Parker?
What a piece of shit.
Who did he say to take Payne Haas's head off?
Yeah.
That scumbag.
No, he was saying, someone should go in there.
Take Payne Haas's head off, and now he's trying to get the book thrown at the New South Wales
players. What a piece of shit.
And all that.
We're Queensland. Get out of my face.
Absolute flog.
The whole Queensland team earned my respect, except for DCE. I swear to God that the Queensland team, even Billy Slater, they proved that they are the real deal, even with some poor selections. They played so well. But you know what? DCE is a piece of shit.
Probably
DCE
taking it a bit far there.
Honestly, still would have been better having Sam Walker there. I don't care what anyone says. Or even, you know what, Ben Hunt at 7.
Look, I think Sam Walker's going to be their half next year.
He's got to be. unless they want to lose 3-0 again.
I could see Lockie Galvin playing Origin the next few years. That kid.
Oh, he's a
does
freak.
not-
But he's
oh
only
my-
18. How good is he for an 18?
He's good enough to play Origin already. Did you see him on the weekend?
But he was that. Look, you know what's
It's
interesting?
like he wanted to take every
You know,
hit up.
we're gonna review that very quickly, but I just want to say that was fantastic. And if we can choose the same team or roughly the same team and add Cleary, Turbo, Latrell in there, the Queensland team will not have an answer. Even if you bring back Tino, even if you bring back Flegler, even if you bring back Gilbert, we will be all over them. We have a great team. Like Moses and can you imagine the shootout between Cleary, Moses, and Luai for the 6 and 7. What a team, right?
Somebody suggested that we should have a podcast of us footy player boxing charity match between ELMO and DCE.
Nah, look, I just want to say what DCE has accomplished.
DCE's a nice guy off the field, by the way.
Look, what DCE has accomplished in his career.
Wow, giraffe neck.
RLPA president. I want to
player.
say, I don't disrespect him as a player, but I just think his comments that he made in after that game were unnecessary. He was
If it was a Queenslander,
just being complete
just
fraud.
sticking up for his mates.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, okay, DC.
Why was Nane not sent off for being third man in and then throwing To'o into the chairs?
Did you see that photo? There was about 13 Queenslanders versus
Or
2 New South Welshmen. So you
Come
can
on.
imagine, you can understand why Murray and Olakawatu got involved.
Murray's a wahash. Murray is the wahash of the week. That's what I have to say. Murray's a legend. Olakawatu is a legend.
Dogs of War.
Absolutely.
Steve Mortimer.
Oh mate, and you know what they said? They did this for Turvey.
Did you see did you see what he based the series around?
Yeah, Turvey's grit.
It was about a 5-minute doco on Turvey.
Yeah,
wow,
unbelievable. Turvey
Hey, I
deserved
think
it.
I said on the last podcast he was Canterbury's greatest ever Origin player.
Yeah, he was. And
Turvey.
So we're just trying to get that link. I don't know why YouTube's done that. It's made a bit weird to add the join link, but I'll send it in. We'll send it in the chat in a couple of minutes. Now,
I would have liked to see Reid Marnie. I honestly want Reid Marnie to play for Queensland.
I think he would have added a lot. I genuinely feel like he would have added a lot.
I know DC wants to go around next year, but he's 36 next year. Ben Hunt's 35. I think it's time those two hung up the boots. They've had a decorated career. There's some fine talent.
I think Kofusi needs to hang it up.
I don't think he should have been there this year. There's some fine talent coming through for Queensland. Sam Walker or Dearden or whoever wants to play in the halves.
I think Bo Fermor from the Titans could have done a good job on the bench.
Yeah, he'll get his run. He's actually been pretty good for the Titans.
I thought he was good for the Titans.
Tina Famasali will be back next year. Reid Marnie, I thought he deserved his spot in the 17 this year.
I did too.
He adds something different.
Yeah.
You need to mix it up.
And he adds a niggle, the Queensland niggle. I think he'll be fantastic in Origin. And I think he'll be there or thereabouts next year.
Yep.
But yeah, look, that was the best Origin game or the best footy game I've ever seen. I'm sort of almost comfortable
What
to
did
say.
Burden get fined for? Did he get involved as well?
Yeah, he got involved from the
good
bench.
stuff.
That was nothing.
Great stuff.
Yeah,
That's well worth it.
yeah, absolutely.
Fine, well worth
He
it.
was celebrating like he had played, but he was 18th man twice. So,
Yeah, I do feel for him actually.
I do, but he's there or thereabouts.
You know what?
and
He's
I'm
the
sure-
ultimate teammate.
Yeah.
He was 18th man, but look at him.
So that was Origin. Now we're gonna talk a little bit about. I want to talk a little bit about.
What are you gonna do? Preview, review?
Yeah, I want to review just round 20 very quickly because I thought there were some very interesting games there that I really, really enjoyed watching, and I sort of wanted to get your takes. So I want to talk quickly about so Raiders versus Warriors. Poor Chanel Harris-Tavita getting absolutely roasted in the media.
He did not bad. He actually did decent in the game, but he missed some kicks. Like, they were worse than Birdo's missed kicks by far. Like, Paul Black was, he was not, after the game, he was pretty down. If you saw the camera footage when he walked into the sheds, he was absolutely upset with himself. Yeah, look, I hope they can bounce back with a win this week. They've deserved a few wins recently, but just haven't come through.
I thought he's been good. For the whole game.
That looked like Canberra was going to run away with it, and then just Warriors should have.
I think
chased them down. They should have got that win.
I agree. I think the Warriors should have got that win. Very sad, but look, for the fans out there, just when a player makes those things. Just go easy on him. Like, they're human beings. I'm sure he did not want to miss. It's not like he goes out there to miss kicks. it's not his week-to-week thing. So it's just a shame that he did miss it. Just go easy on him, guys. And if you see any idiots being racist or stupid, just pull them up. Just tell them, listen, this is not. It's unacceptable. Just don't talk shit. So that's the one thing that I will say. And I think I've just pulled off
What else?
the mic. Rabbitohs and Tigers. Rabbitohs did well. I thought the Tigers played well. And it's interesting, their 19-year-olds are the ones that are causing all the damage. You've got the likes of, you had the young Fainu brothers who were absolutely killing it. You've got...
They'll be better next year.
yeah.
I still think they'll end up with the spoon. I know everyone's thinking para, but I mean, Tigers are just leaking. Can they defend?
They can. It's just, I don't know.
They just seem to leak 40 points every week.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
And you notice,
they can attack.
You notice their game, just want to quickly mention, Lachlan Galvin, Talon De Silva, Jareem Buller, Sione Fainu, this is the next generation, and they're the ones that were bringing the energy. They're older guys like Bateman. I
think he's off to England.
He's just full of mistakes, full of errors, full of penalties.
I think he's off to England.
Not doing his job. Clemmer is an absolute passenger, which is very upsetting to see because he was one of my favorites at the Bulldogs. But it's the up and comers that I think are going to make the biggest difference, and they're the ones that Luai is going to have the biggest impact on. It was so good to see the young guys like Talon De Silva at 9. No, actually, it wasn't Talon De Silva playing at 9. Sorry, who was it?
It was Talon.
Was it Talon?
Yeah, Talon. Appy's back this week anyway, so they missed his.
I think Talon should be on the bench somewhere because he played very, very good.
They're working towards next year. I don't think they'll make the top 8 next year. I think they'll probably improve, maybe the 14th or 13th or maybe 15th, but that's about it.
But I mean, look at the Bulldogs.
It's a move in the right direction.
I think the Tigers right now are where the Bulldogs were last year, and I think they can potentially take the competition by surprise. Does Benji have it in him? I do think he does, but he just needs the right assistants around him. Zata's mentioning Farah's gone next year, so hopefully they bring a defensive coach. I agree. I think Farah should never have been there. I just don't think he's it for them. So it's good that he's going.
I personally I don't think Benji. My personal take anyway. Benji did things that you can't coach. So the way he played, it was always, a lot of it was instinct, or it was just naturally. It's hard. Have you seen Andrew Johns try to coach? He's just too advanced.
Have you seen Andrew Johns trying to commentate?
Don't worry about his commentary, but I'll tell you now, he loses it when he's coaching. If you hear it, I've heard it from the horses' mouths and that, he can absolutely blast players and all that. But I just think that Andrew Johns did things that players couldn't do before, and I think every modern halfback since has modelled their game, or the modern halfback now is pretty much modelled their game on Andrew Johns. He's the benchmark. I see a lot of likenesses, but I know Andrew just compliments everyone in that, but a lot of great players don't make head coaches or good head coaches. That's just my personal take anyway.
No, look, I don't disagree with you.
And Benji's a brilliant mind, but it's more than just being a great player. There's more that comes into it, how you manage your roster, people skills. You've got to be stern as a coach.
I'm with you.
I think Benji he's the loveliest bloke. It's just hard. It's hard to see Benji trying to be the chief, the high chief. It's hard seeing him be that.
But you look at you look at the way, people were talking about Serralda last year. He's a fraud. He's this and that. I don't think that you have to worry about Benji. I don't think it's his coaching. I just think that he's got a lot of stragglers that he needs to get rid of, and I think they're on the right track to getting rid of him.
I wish him all the best. I hope he proves me wrong.
Jamie Tisdale's like Barrett to the Tigers. Oh God.
Well, the way they're going, it suits. They might string one win then.
Want to quickly talk about Broncos and Knights. We've sort of touched on it before.
Yeah, let's quickly skim through them.
Look, Knights is shit. Adam O'Brien is a poor coach. I don't think that he's going to get the best out of his team. And the sooner the Knights get rid of him and get someone like a Justin Holbrook or a Brad Arthur, the better they will be. I honestly think that they need to wisen up very quickly because they're going to leak players. And I think Kalen Ponga will get to a point where he will realise his career's not going to go anywhere under Adam O'Brien, and he may just be heading for the door. I know that sounds very conspiratorial, but believe me, a player like Kalen, with his capabilities, will be the best.
I'll tell you why
he's
he's
at the
Knights.
I've ever seen under a good coach.
I'll tell you why he's at the Knights, because his dad got a job there. This is what happens when family get involved.
Look,
He's at the wrong club.
I
I'll
actually
say it
think there may be some teams that can come in there and give him just as much
that-
money and hire his
He's
dad.
at the wrong club. They don't even hire the dad. Why is his career dependent on his dad getting a job? If anything, that's more about the dad worried about himself than his son. So honestly, shouldn't be at that club. Don't care. A player's contract shouldn't be dependent on the father getting a job.
No, I'm with
Sorry,
you.
but the father, it's like the father's chosen himself ahead of the son.
I'm with you.
I
And look,
don't care.
you look
Think
at the
what
way
you want.
Riles is signed to the Eels, the way he's come in, he's just tore shit up because he knows that if he wants to earn the respect of the players, he's got to make some real changes.
Oh, I'll
He's already
sign,
making
but you got to give
changes.
my dad a job. No.
He's making some changes.
you later.
and- yeah.
Father should be see you later, not him.
Brian's saying that Ciro done a lot more of an apprenticeship. Look, I agree with that.
Of course you got to.
I agree with you 100%, but I just don't think that what we're seeing from the Tigers is it's not Benji's fault. I just don't think it's Benji's fault. Like,
Benji did no apprenticeship. I don't know how he's going to cut it. What Wayne Bennett honed his skills.
so you agree? You think Benji's not it for the Tigers?
No. I think
Okay, it's fair
I think after a few years he won't be there. I think he can only be there for so long. Transition period. Like Wayne Bennett served a long apprenticeship. Like didn't forget he was coaching in the Queensland Cup.
I mean, Riles served a 10-year apprenticeship before he's given his.
I don't know
first
how
grade.
Riles is going to go. Some coaches make good assistants. I don't know how Jason's going to go. Like, is he going to?
I reckon Riles is
assert
gonna kill it.
himself? If
Yeah.
Jason can assert himself, he'll go well.
I reckon Riles is gonna
Is
kill
he
it.
that sort of guy? I don't know.
I reckon Riles is going to kill it. Storm versus Roosters. Roosters had nothing. Are they pretenders? I don't think they're
Bloody,
pretenders.
the Storm's their bogey team.
Well, I think the top
They
8.
haven't beaten them in 6 years.
They
Since that grand final.
can't beat anyone in the top 4. They've only won one of the last 9 against top 4 opponents, which is concerning for the Roosters. I thought who I thought had a good game though. I thought that Brendan Smith had a good game. I thought
He was
aim up.
enormous.
Yeah,
What
he's
about that
he's trying to
hit he
aim
pulled
up.
off? Revenge hit.
Yeah, I just don't think. I don't think the Roosters will win it this year. It's starting to look more and more like it'll be a Storm Penrith grand final with the
shout.
Penrith to do a quadruple.
That bloody Storm club, can they have a bad season for once?
Hughes is absolute.
Getting on my nerves. I'm going to probably start losing sleep over it.
Hughes is killing it, and Munster's back this week. I'm so happy to see Munster back. I thought Munster was missed. It's just good to have our best players playing. Very, very happy to see him back. That's me. But Storm, what a team. Fa'alongo is a freak. Good to see Pappenhausen back. Hughes, their team, a couple of their centres and wingers, absolutely killing it. Like that, what's his name? Anderson and Grant Anderson, Jack Howarth. Absolutely no one. Who are they? No, real no names.
Still find
Come
them
out and kill
somehow.
it.
Somehow still find them.
And look, Fa'alongo
Wow.
comes on for 3 minutes and scores a try.
That was the funniest thing because we said, Falanga will come now and score a try. Lo and behold, he came up with how long to go? 10, 15 minutes?
3 minutes.
Well, there you go. There you go. He made a mockery of us all. He laughed at us. Even though we said he'd score, he still laughed at us.
Panthers, Dolphins. I mean,
Dolphins let that sleep.
Cleary, freak, absolutely fantastic.
And they were missing a lot of players.
And they were missing, none of their orange players back, origin players backed up.
I was reading their lineup, who comes back this week. Did they end up naming everyone that was coming back besides Edwards? They did?
Everyone's coming back.
I was laughing my head off because the Dragons got him, I think, Sunday, daytime or something. I know to Wollongong, I started laughing. I go, look when they all come back. I was like,
Sunday at 2 p.m.
I was like, Tombstone, rest in peace. Like, even though it's in Wollongong and Cleary doesn't need a warm-up game.
Cleary's a freak. That's what I'm
Reminds me
saying.
of Andrew Johns.
That's what I'm saying. Go throw. He should have,
He doesn't
game
need a
3,
warm-up game.
Moses and Lloyd did the trick, but you could have had Cleary there. I reckon he would have done the job.
He's another Andrew Johns.
He's a freak.
He doesn't need a warm-up game. He's straight into it.
Well on his way to become the best 7 we've ever seen. I don't care. I'll say it. I love Cleary. I love the way he plays. I love his professionalism. He's just got everything. He's an absolute freak. But the Dolphins let that slip. I think they should have won that, but they did let it slip. And it sort of goes back to what I was saying about the Bulldogs. Why I'm not too disappointed because the Panthers had no one, and the Dolphins still lost. Whereas the Cowboys had their whole team, and they've got a top 4 team, and we were still able to almost win. So, and then the Seagulls again and the Titans. Look, disappointing for the Titans. I thought the Titans were up for it. They played good in the first 20 minutes, and then Tom Trbojevic just blew him off the park. I thought Tom Trbojevic was back to his best. And we haven't seen him play like that for quite a number of months. It's scary for the competition when Tom Trbojevic is on.
It was only against Gold Coast. Settle down, son.
They've been playing very well.
He played well. He linked up with Saab. About time Saab got free space.
Agreed. And it was good to see the Seagulls, or to see Turbo play well. And yeah, look, I'm just disappointed for the Titans. I thought they would have shown more fight up against, the Eagles, being Dez's first game back at 4 Pines Park.
Not a happy return, eh?
Not a happy return at all. And then we've spoken about the Cowboys and the Bulldogs. Very quickly, guys, we're going to give our tips. Warriors against the Tigers, Friday, 6 p.m.
In New Zealand, right?
It's a good question. Let me just check quickly. Yeah, in New Zealand.
Warriors by 28.
I'm going to say Warriors by 12. I think the Tigers will give a good account of
got
themselves.
a soft spot for the Tigers. Anyway, next.
Yeah. Eels versus Storm.
Where is it at?
I believe it's at Parramatta.
It was by 14.
Sorry.
Forgive me, guys. Storm by 14.
Okay, Storm by 14.
Storm will probably have a bigger lead, but they'll probably just relax in the last 10 to 15.
Yeah.
Sorry. Storm by 14. Where did the Eels come from? Anyways.
Just quickly, we've just pasted the link to join as a member. It's right there. Click on that link and join as a member. As we said before, it just helps us pay for the potty. We don't make any money off this. I don't think we ever will. It just helps continue to fund the potty to keep going and to keep providing content. So if you guys can afford it, it's very, very cheap, like the cost of coffee a month, just to help us pay for the running of the podcast. You will get exclusive perks, like you'll be able to send your questions in directly to us to put forward to any of our guests that we have coming on, and we do have some very exciting people coming on. You will be able to have specific emojis and icons in the chat so that you're more noticeable. So thank you very much, guys. If you do become members, it really means a lot to us.
Just a note, the that link is mostly for people who are on iOS.
Yeah.
Those are the ones that won't be able to see the join button, most likely.
So everyone else can see it.
Watching on Android should see a join button, but they can also use that link, just as an FYI.
So wherever you are, whichever computer you're on, you can click that link to become a member. And if you are new, you don't want to become a member, that's okay. We'll still love you, still want you to be around. Just be sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel so that you don't miss any of our content. Press the bell icon if you do want to get notified when our new video drops and when we do go live. Now, Broncos, Bulldogs, I'm saying dogs by 12, 30, I'm going to say 30 to 16 or 30 to 18.
You didn't give, who'd you tip, the Storm or the Eels?
Oh, Storm by plenty.
Yeah, what, 30 plus?
I
had them, I would say they'll be up by a lot, but then they'll probably just let Paris score a few late tries to get home by 14.
I think it'll be like 38-16 or something like that.
All right, yep. All right. Who was the next game?
Dogs, Broncos. I'm going to say dogs by 12.
I think I went the Broncos by 8. I mean, yeah, anyways, bloody Bulldogs don't seem to score as much as they should.
Cowboys up in North Queensland. I'm going to say Cowboys by 12.
Against?
Against the Sharks. Cowboys against the
Hines
Sharks.
missing, eh?
Yeah, Hines still missing.
I'm going to go Cowboys by 12. Did you say 12 as well?
Yeah, I'm going to say Cowboys by 12.
Cowboys by 12 because even them, they're a bit strange this year as well.
But I think they'll have too much for the Sharks.
Yep.
Brad Cambridge has become a member. Thank you very much, Brad. Love it. You've always been a supporter.
I'd love to catch up with you guys sometime this year. We'll announce it on the next podcast anyway.
Make sure you subscribe, become a member. We'll have a members get
together. Brad and whoever else is joining. I think we got a fair bit.
Jamie,
now.
yeah.
Sorry if I've missed it. Jamie as well. Yep. Sorry if I've missed any others.
Then we've got Roosters and Seagulls at Allianz Stadium. I'm going to say Seagulls by 4. I'm going Seagulls by 4.
Allianz, huh?
Yeah, I'm going to say Seagulls by 4.
Are the Roosters get anyone back? Manu or anyone?
No, Manu's not back. They've still got Tupanua at centre.
Yep.
But they've got Spencer starting and Lindsay Collins. Oh, I mean that's it. And then they've got a great bench as well.
I'll go Roosters by. I was going to say 8. Roosters by 10.
Really, it's interesting.
Yeah, screw you, Manly.
I'm going to say Manly by 4, even though I don't really care who wins that one.
Yep. Good shout.
And then we've got Dolphins and Titans, Battle of Queensland.
Dolphins and Titans. Where at? KO or the other stadium?
Suncorp. Yeah.
It's a Dolphins game. I'm going to go Dolphins by... Are Dolphins missing anyone?
Not that I can see.
Katoa playing?
Yes.
Dolphins by 14.
Katoa's playing.
16, but Dolphins by 14.
I'm actually going to go Titans by 6.
Right, all right.
I think Titans have been playing very, very well this year.
Yep.
And then final game, Raiders and Rabbitohs, down there at GIO Stadium.
Is that for Saturday?
Sunday, 6 p.m. 6:15 p.m.
What about the Dragons? You didn't say them.
Oh, it's because I don't think anyone cares. No, Dragons.
Knights got the bye, eh?
Yeah, so Knights have the bye.
Don't worry about them.
Dragons, Panthers, 2 p.m.
Are we bringing the tombstone out? Anyway.
So
It's scary. I was
it's a
reading
good team. Look, it's a good team that the Dragons have.
What good team?
I do think the Panthers will be way too strong.
I think the Panthers 16 maybe.
I'm going to say Panthers by 20.
Yeah.
Honestly, with no disrespect, the only problem...
It's Penrith.
No, it's not just that. The only problem I have with the Dragons is if the game gets away from them for a little bit,
they'll
they just capitulate.
Yeah, they capitulate.
So that's what I'm saying.
I think Flannery's going to be livid in the post-game press conference.
But I hope it's closer than that.
And then
I hope
next
it's
minute,
closer
they
than that.
somehow fluke a win. Penrith have their worst game in 5 years. Because honestly, the Dragons have had that sort of season. They either played teams that have just had their worst game of the year, or somehow they've played teams where they're missing all their players. There are a few sides where, why are they sitting so high? The Dragons have honestly played Penrith, the previous time with no players, Brisbane with no players. I think someone else with no players. I think it was Melbourne already this year. So they've notched 3 or 4 wins or 5 wins that they should never have got. Anyway, probably shouldn't sound too critical of them because they might just surprise us again on the weekend. I think we went 16 and 20. And what was the other game you were about to talk
Very
about?
quickly, I just want to say, what do you guys think is going to happen for the Dogs and Broncos? I'd love to hear your predictions. Let us know down the bottom in the comment section because I'm really interested to see what everybody thinks about the Bulldogs Broncos.
What was that last game?
B Massive saying Golden Point by Dogs. Jamie Teasdale saying Dogs to win by 6.
Yep.
I'm saying...
Someone said Roosters by 20. Oh, the Roosters, sorry.
Yeah. So quickly, Bill S has asked, Elmo, can you please shed some light on how you thought Kick-Out performed this week? Surely I'm not the only one that's seeing the same game. Look, I thought Kick-Out played very well. Not getting early ball from Burton. I know there was a couple of times where Burton tried to shift it early, but the defense was up in our face. He's playing with a broken hand. I think that's still affecting him a little bit. Not able to have the same impact on a game, palm off or give a pass off like he should. Still needs to fix some of those disciplinary areas of the game, but he's massive for us. He's our enforcer. His defense is so great. His speed on the line is just incredible. We're so lucky to have someone like Kick-Out in our team. What are your thoughts? Brian 30104 thinks that Broncos win, unfortunately, but please prove me wrong. I think they will prove you wrong. Have confidence. I believe in the team. I think that we have a team that can go deep through the finals, and we'll show everyone what we're made of against the Broncos. SCS Model Railway is saying Dogs 1-12. Good shout. I think Dogs will win by similar. I think by 12, but Dogs 1-12 is a good call. The final game was the Raiders and the Rabbitohs that we were talking about.
Who are South missing now?
Just a quick one.
Yeah.
So we ran a poll earlier to see how many or what people think. 20 votes, and we had 44% think that the Dogs are going to win.
44, the
less
Dogs.
than 12.
Yeah.
30% more than 12. 15% thought that Broncos will win more than 12, and Broncos will win less than 12. So
15% all up.
So about 60-70% think we'll win. I think that's a fair representation of the thing. And look, I'm not being cocky by saying the Bulldogs are going to win. I genuinely think the Bulldogs are going to have a very good performance. Again, could be wrong. SCS Model Railway says if the Dogs get their fingers out of their asses, they will beat the Broncos. I agree with you, and I think that loss to the Cowboys will get them to get their fingers out of their asses. James Ham, Dogs by 2. Pray that we don't have Sutton as ref. No, we've got Grant Atkins at ref. I don't mind Grant Atkins as a ref. I think he's okay.
I think he's one of the better refs.
I think he's one of the better ones. Him and Adam G.
Doesn't seem to make it about himself. It's either Sutton or the other guy, Klein.
Yeah.
Which game's Klein reffing this weekend? Rest in peace, whoever's playing.
Yeah, good luck.
Whoever's high on the ladder is going to get all the calls.
Whoever Sutton is reffing is going to have an absolutely abysmal game.
Yeah, whoever's high on the ladder of that game.
Yeah.
The same thing with Klein.
Yeah.
It's the team that's high on the ladder get all the avalanche of penalties are fine.
And that's been the situation
You can tell
with a
that
lot of the
trend for
referees
a
for
long
years.
time. Anyways.
Raiders and Rabbitohs. So Dry Gray's still at fullback. They've still got Wyden and Walker at 6 and 7. Look, I think it's going to be a good game.
Where's it at? In Canberra or here?
That's in Canberra.
Oh, yeah. Canberra needs that win.
You know what I thought was impressive for the Rabbitohs on the weekend?
Ben
I thought
Hornby.
Liam LeBlanc.
New guy, eh?
Yeah, I thought he was actually
Liam
quite
LeBlanc.
good.
You know what? Is on that team Souths, do you think Alex Johnson will hit 200? I'm so glad he started scoring.
Yeah, I
again,
want him to hit the 200.
Tane Milne was getting in the way. I honestly thought he was a chance to break the record this year. But then injuries...
He still may be. He's on 195, I think.
No, he won't get to 212 this year. Injuries got in the way, then Tane Milne got in the way, but then thank God he scored what's he scored? 4 tries in the last 2 weeks?
Yep.
He's gone to 196.
195 or 196, yeah.
I hope he hits 200 this
He'll
year.
he'll hit the 200 this year
So
easily.
you know how in the AFL when somebody kicks 100 goals or they kick 1,000 career goals, are we going to run on the field once he hits 200?
I hope so, because
Are we going to that game?
200 is going to be such a massive
I know
achievement.
St George plays Souths again this year. So
Yeah, it could be there.
are we going to run it on the field?
You know what I also thought was massive for them? I thought Jai Gray is becoming an absolutely fantastic weapon for them. I thought Jai Gray is so good. Billis is saying, Kikau missed so many tackles, tripped over his own boots, refused to run out of our 20.
What does that sound like? It's our producer making those comments. Seem very negative.
No, Bill, that's fair. Look, I don't think he's been at the top of his game the last few weeks, but you just can't take away from what he adds to our team, what he brings in defense. The imposing figure that he is. I just think that Kikau is one of our best week in, week out. I'm happy.
Needs more, just needs that support. People
I agree. He needs more support, and I think he needs more early ball from Burton.
I don't see Dogs. I mean, I see them making the finals, but I think they deserve to be in the top 6 at the end of it.
I hope they do. Look, I hope
just
they do.
think they made it a bit hard for themselves. I think I'm being a bit harsh on them.
They're still 6th now, so if we win, if we win against the Broncos, we're 5th again.
Of course, I still think I'm being harsh on them, but there's reasons behind it. Because I actually think the way they've played, they're a top 6 side.
Yeah, look. Rob Ramsey is saying Klein is Roosters versus Manly. Sutton is St George versus Penrith.
What's this for? Sutton?
Yeah, Sutton's got...
It's going to be fun. You know what? It's funny. I think these next 2 games, so you know how the Dogs got those, they're 2 hardest games, and they're not hard, but they're in Queensland.
Yeah.
And they're games that I think they should have won at least 1 out of 2. So I hope they prove me wrong this week. And even though if my tip's not right, they'll make me feel better about them. But the Dragons got their 2 hardest games, and listen to who their 2 games are. Penrith this week, it's at home, but Penrith get back about half a dozen players, all rep players. I know it's in Wollongong, but it's just like, it's like Spike Dudley, if you watch WWE, walking out, and who's he facing? Brock Lesnar or The Undertaker. They just come back after a hiatus. It's like Mike Tyson, I don't know, facing, maybe, who was Bob Mirovic, for example. Tyson's going to gut that guy out in 10 seconds or 20 seconds. Or Mike Tyson when he fought Marvis Fraser.
I don't think it's that lopsided, but I want to say...
It is lopsided.
Bill Essis said about Kikau, it's like having a massive mate that you take to a street fight for his negotiation skills. I think that's unfair.
He evens it up.
I think that Kikau, even at his worst, is playing really, really good. I know that you can be critical, and that's fine, but I think this is where I disagree with you, Bill. I think that Kikau has been
Thanks, Rob Ramsey. I really appreciate, members like that, Rob Ramsey and that, and all of you, Zor, but we say something, somebody goes out and actually researches it and posts it up.
We've got
Love
the best
you guys.
fans. So we've got the best fans.
We do.
We love it.
And just on that, I know I was saying Penrith, I'll let you finish quickly, but then guess who they got right after Penrith?
The Storm?
The Storm. And guess who comes back? Or if he doesn't come back in that game, he's back the week before?
Yeah.
Cam Munster. Yeah. And I think then Melbourne get
Munster
back.
comes back this week. Yeah.
And then they were missing Nass and Walsh on the weekend.
Yeah.
Are they playing this week?
No, Nass. I don't think Nass or Welsh. But let me check.
If they're not back this week, they should be back next week. So it's like, so they're facing Brock Lesnar 1 week, and then the next week they're facing probably, Stone Cold Steve Austin. They're getting absolutely ragdolled. Imagine.
Actually, you're right. Welsh and Asaf Solomon are back.
It's just crazy,
Yeah.
And in all of this, honestly, if they nag 1 out of the 2, it feels like they've won 2 out of 2.
They won't.
Other ones in Melbourne, mind you, and I don't know, maybe Melbourne, 30 plus down there?
Yeah, I don't think they will.
They won't get the Melbourne one.
SES Model Railway saying DIBBO and ELMO, if we stop playing 1 out football, we're a top 2 to 4 side. Look, I think I agree with you, but I do think that we need a couple more props to be able to play that football we want to play. I just don't think we have the team for it, but we do have the attitude. So that's why I say the Broncos are in for a very, very rough Saturday afternoon, is sort of what I'm saying. Just going to quickly make a prediction. Rabbitohs and Raiders, what are you calling?
It's in Canberra?
Yeah.
Canberra missing anyone? They got everyone. They got the whole.
They got Fogarty back.
Oh yeah, what a player!
yeah.
They were a top 8 side when he was playing. They were top 4 at one stage. I'm going to get Canberra in a tight one. Canberra by 4.
I'm actually going to go
Tight one.
yeah, I'm going to go Canberra by. I'm going to
And
say
then Canberra come and put a stinker in.
I'm going to say
That'll be
Canberra by
funny.
2. I'm going to say Canberra's by 2.
You know what? South ain't out of it. I know they're going to not make it in the end, but still in the hunt.
I mean, they're on the same points as the Broncos.
Didn't they win 5 in a row at one stage?
They've won 6 of the last 7.
Yeah,
so,
that's crazy.
Yeah,
They
it is
won't
quite
go
crazy.
away, eh?
Yeah, look, as I say,
What a team.
they're on the same points. I think
As the Bronx, 20.
Hang on.
What a team.
Yeah, they're on the same points as the Broncos. So if the Broncos make it, the Rabbitohs can make it. They may actually put a spanner in the works, you know?
Bloody oath they are.
Yeah, it could be, you know, Rabbitohs could go out and smash the Raiders, you know? Still. But in any case, it's been such a great evening of discussing the footy. Thank you to everybody that's been there for us. Again, the link is there if you want to join as a member. It does help us keep the potty going. Helps us pay for everything. For everyone who's joined us this evening, it's been such a mad discussion. We'll be back here next week on at 7 p.m. live to have a chat throughout the week. What I'll do is I will be starting a chat exclusively for the members, just to have a bit of a chat, get to know everybody. And then we do have some guests coming up that I think all of our members will enjoy asking questions of. So if you do want to ask questions to our upcoming guests, please be sure to become a member, because that is one of the perks of becoming a member. I'll have some of those new emojis and new images and new icons up before next week's live stream. Thank you so much for joining us. Really, really appreciate your time. If there are any questions, any feedback that you have for the podcast, anything we can do to improve, please be sure to put them in the chat. You can find our email, podcast@thekennel.net.au. Send us an email. We'd love to hear from you guys. Thank you so much for joining. It's going to be big 7-8 weeks of footy leading into the finals.
Super exciting.
I cannot wait. It's good just for the doggies to be at this end of the season in contention for the finals and playing decent footy. I really, really hope it's a good game on the weekend. Up the Dogs. Hope the Dragons put in a good performance for Dibbo's sake. If you're not a Doggy supporter,
I'm just going to have a laugh watching it.
Let's just enjoy the game.
Like I said, it's going to be Spike Dudley versus The Undertaker or Brock Lesnar. Honestly, back to back.
You're the underdog. Anything can happen when you're the underdog.
Panthers and the Storm. Whoever wanted to jack the Dragons, whoever's scheduling that game has absolutely given them something with a carrot with no lube. They're absolutely destroyed
keep it PG, Dibbo. Keep it PG.
Sorry, gents.
Just a quick one. Just remember, Rey Mysterio did beat who was it? The giant guy a couple of times in a few fights. So could win. They could win.
Unscripted. But this is unscripted. That's scripted WWE. Rey Mysterio.
So thank you so much for your time, guys. Really, really appreciate everything. I think Dibbo's just going for a walkabout. If there are anything that you would like us to do on the podcast, please send us an email, leave us some feedback. Thank you so much. I really, really hope you have a great evening. Hope it's a good game on the weekend. If you don't go for the doggies, I hope your team is a good one. Unless you're the Eels, you can go and get stuffed. Have a good night. Take it easy, guys.